Hello everyone, welcome and thanks so much for stopping by my channel today. I have a really fun pick your present lift the flap card to share with you. During the card making process, I will explain what I mean by that, but when you lift the flaps, you can either see Lawn Fawn or Mama Elephant. So let's get started. I started by cutting out some of the panels and preparing them. So I die cut the lift the flap panel out of the lift the flap dies from Lawn Fawn. And to cut that out, I used one of the stitched dies that comes in the slide on over slimline dies, and then I cut out another panel that's a little bit bigger than that one to mat it, and then I cut out some of the other pieces like the little fortune teller kitty, and then some presents in pattern paper and cardstock, and then of course the card base. Now I added some more little panels later on. So to begin, I went ahead and used some purple tape to hold down these panels together. I don't want them to shift because it's important that they're exactly right on. So I traced the opening with my pencil to make sure that I knew exactly where the spaces were that I had to work with. So I'm going to remove the other panel from it so I can work exclusively on that one. I went ahead and stamped the images that I'm going to need for my card and die cut them out. Okay, so now I left the coloring in for the little elephant because I know some of you like watching the coloring. For today's card, I am using Copic markers, and I color from darkest to light. That is how I learned to color eons ago, so that is how most of the time I do things. To explain what this pick your present lift the flap card is about, it comes as a result of a brand new crafter joining our beloved hobby. So she is a brand new high schooler, and this summer she began to card make, and she absolutely loves it. She's all in. So her birthday's coming up, and so her mom sent me a list of the things that she had requested, which was a long list. And so I said, oh, you know what, I can help with this. And so I decided that I would make a card where she would lift the flap to choose, or not to choose, but by fate, decide if she's going to get her choice of any Mama Elephant stamp or her choice of any Lawn Fawn stamp, depending upon which flap she chose to lift. So I thought that would be a fun interactive card, and I mean, this is a win-win. There is no losing here because you're getting either a Lawn Fawn stamp or Mama Elephant stamp, so it's all good. All right, so I'm finishing up with this little elephant and adding a little bit more contrast, and he's so cute. This one happens to be from Mama Elephant, Stackable Cuties. So I don't have the dies for these. I know, shocker, because I usually try to, but I went ahead and fussy cut him out, and it wasn't too bad. I'm lazy. I don't like fussy cutting if I don't have to, but dies are expensive, so I can't have all the dies. But you need definitely some sharp scissors to get this job done. All right, and so I also took the little speech bubble where it says happy birthday, and I fussy cut that out. I did have the dies for the other stuff, but I just didn't have it for these. And it's okay, you know, I don't use these stamps all the time, so fussy cutting once in a while is not super tedious. All right, so there they all are. These are the Copic markers if you want to pause that. So now I'm going to adhere this panel to the white panel. I'm using the art glitter glue with that super fine tip, and this tip is exactly what I need for this because, as you can see, there is very, very little room for adhesive. So this art glitter glue for this is perfect. So I'm folding back the flaps, making sure that I am using those score marks so that it creases nicely. So I decided I wanted some clouds. So of course this is something I should have done before assembling this, but you know, that's how it is. Sometimes you forget. So I just masked off the space and used my cloud stencil and my little eye crafter brush to brush in some clouds, and it was no problem. I attached the little cloud and the little unicorn on the cloud, and then the little fairies around her, and then made sure it was a flat panel. On to the next panel. So I adhere the little grass border at the bottom and made sure that I got glue on every little blade of grass, because this needs to be very flush with the panel inside so it doesn't stick out. And I know it's hard to see right now because the flap is kind of in the way, but you'll see in a moment. So I adhere the little elephant and then the little happy birthday speech bubble. And looking at it, I was like, oh, little elephant's kind of lonely. So I colored and die cut these 3 little presents. This is from, I believe, the Fawn party animal stamp set. I will list everything below. And then once I fiddled with it and decided on placement, I went ahead and attached them on there. And I thought, yep, this is exactly what this little space needed. Good to go. Right, so of course I thought I need some sky. So I took my little super tiny blending brush and then just made that illusion, that look of clouds without actually using like a cloud stencil or something, and it worked out perfectly fine. So I'm making sure that everything is lined up and flat and that there's nothing missing or that I could continue to add. So now I'm taking these die cuts. I cut them out of pattern paper and then out of solid cardstock, and I'm trimming off just the bow, the ribbon part, so I can adhere it to the pattern paper. So to give it that 2 paper kind of look. So I'm using the art glitter glue with that awesome fine tip. This glue is growing on me, I have to say. And I did the same thing with the other present. All right, so I decided I need a little something in the background just to, dazzle it up. And so I took this stamp set that has little stars and I just stamped them in a coordinating color that would match the background. And I added it behind the little present panel and then behind the little fortune teller kitty. All right, and next I went ahead and adhered the presents to its corresponding flap. And I was going to attach it, but then I took out my T-square ruler and I said, oh no, let me make sure this is lined with the other present. And I need to use this ruler way more often. I can't depend on my poor eyes. All right, so now I am going to be paper piecing this fortune teller kitty. I did color in the kitty with Copics, and I went ahead and stamped onto some pattern paper so that I could paper piece this and not have to color it all in. So I'm coloring the base of the crystal ball with some gray Copic markers. And then I'm going to adhere the little bandana around the little kitty's head. That's also out of pattern paper. And then the tablecloth. And a tip to paper piecing is to make sure that you cut right out that black line and everything is glued down absolutely perfectly. And then it'll look absolutely seamless. Okay, so now I decided to color in the little stars with a Signo gold pen, and it's a metallic sheen, so it's actually nice and metallic-y, which is perfect for these little stars. And because this pen is very opaque, if you do color over like the black lines, then you have to kind of go back and color and, write them back in basically. I'm using this shimmer pen, and it doesn't necessarily leave a color, it leaves like a shimmer. And then I am placing the crystal ball and making sure that it's going to fit the space. And it fits, as you can see, a little over, but once I put all the panels in, the kitty will fit just fine. Okay, so I added foam to the back, and then I'm adhering it to the panel. I put some foam on the back of the kitty, so I'm removing the liner paper, and then I'm going to adhere that to the middle part where I want her, making sure she's straight. And I felt like this needed something behind that, so I took and cut out a strip of silver glitter cardstock for some razzle dazzle, and that was what I was looking for. I went ahead and took the Signo, the same one as the gold one, but now in silver, to make those little moons pop against the tablecloth, and that kind of matched the silver as well. So now I have that all ready to go, and I can adhere it to the base panel. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and attach the sentiment. So I cut it out following the curve of the sentiment, and I also stamped the filled with smiles sentiment on the crystal ball itself. So the sentiment reads, "Your day will be filled with smiles," and I hope it is. So now I can go ahead and put some glue on that crystal ball, just like so. Now I took the Spectrum Noir clear sparkle pen, and I'm adding lots of sparkle to the bow on both of the presents. And I am writing in on the inside panel. On one side of the cloud, I'm writing Fawn, and then on the other side, I'm writing Lawn. So when she opens it up, she'll see Lawn Fawn. And then on this panel, it'll say Mama Elephant. Don't ask me why I started off with Fawn. I have no idea. And with that space in between Lawn Fawn, I decided to just add a little heart there to fill in that gap. Alright, so I am attaching the inside panel. When I'm using a colored cardstock, I like to add a lightweight panel of white so that I can easily write my message and it won't be difficult to see. I'm adding another little gift to the inside to decorate that. And of course, what did I forget? The sentiment after I adhered it all together, but thankfully the Misty came in helpful there. And I stamped the sentiment, "Happy birthday to you." I am using the crystal lacquer from Nuvo, which is my absolute favorite for this type of medium because it doesn't bubble up and it dries perfectly clear. So it is definitely my go-to. So that will give that crystal ball glassy look. And I'm taking the sparkle pen now and adding it to the wings of the fairies and then the ribbon on the presents to match the ones on the front. And there they are. So now I am stamping lift on those two little flaps. And the card is done. So when she lifts the right, she'll get Mama Elephant. And then when she lifts the left flap, she'll get Lawn Fawn. And then here's the inside. I thought it came out pretty cute, and it wasn't too hard to make. Plus, I think this is a pretty unique way to give a gift, or the choice of one. Now I used removable glue dots to keep the flaps down. So the removable glue dots will allow her to lift the flap without tearing the paper or the panel inside. Now I created a second version of this card. I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And this is a squared card that features 3 presents. So 3 lift the flaps, so 3 choices. And so when I was thinking about which one to make, I decided upon the Slimline version, but this one's a fun one too. Now for this one, in order to create it, you're going to take the panel that has the 3 flaps in horizontal, and you're just going to cut off that third one and then just adhere it above to create those 3, and then you'll have that space for some other item like I did here with this little Pure Innocence. So here is the final card, the one that I decided upon. So which one would you choose, or which one would you like, the Mama Elephant or the Lawn Fawn stamp? Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing. I hope you enjoyed this card. Take good care out there and enjoy a lovely crafternoon. And if you would like to see any more interactive cards, then here is a playlist for you. Until next time, bye!